Hello everyone and welcome back to Pepple's Potager. Today is August 9th, 2020 and time for another garden update. And I'll start here with the candy corn and the sugar baby watermelons. And as you can see, if you look up close here, the squirrels have gotten to my candy corn again this year. So far they've only gotten 2 ears of corn. There's one on this side and then there's one on the other side there. They tore that one to shreds. But as you can see, the pie pans that I placed around the raised beds just did not work very well. And I think basically it worked for a little while, but then they got used to it and then they still ate a few cobs there. But after this happened, I actually went out and I got some repellent spray, animal repellent called Repel All from Bonide, and I actually sprayed it as a barrier on the outside of the raised beds here along the pea gravel. And since I sprayed that, they've actually gone away. They haven't come back and eaten any more corn cobs. So hopefully that's something that keeps working for me, because in the past I have actually used bird netting, wrapped it completely around the raised beds, and all sorts of other things to keep them off, but they did not work. Even when I put bird netting around the raised beds, they still got a lot of the corn that was on the outside of the raised beds. It was along the outsides. So I'm going to continue to use that and spray it around the raised beds, and maybe that'll just keep them off for good. Hopefully, maybe I'll start using that every year. But now we'll check up on the sugar baby watermelons. You can see there are quite a few small watermelons in here. Most of them have not gotten much bigger, so I don't think a lot of the watermelons are actually going to get that big. I think the heat that we had in mid-July kind of stunted the plants, or the watermelons a bit. There in mid-July it got up to about 98 degrees on some days, and the watermelon plants were wilting, so it got way too hot. And I watered it as much as I could, and I think that might have been what stunted the watermelons a little bit. But they still may turn out good. They just might be smaller than usual. And we're going to move on around here to the sweet potatoes, and as you can see, they are still doing very good. They're way outside the raised beds there, and even some of the Blue Lake string beans are growing through the sweet potato vines as well. So they're all intermingling, growing together, and so both doing very well. You can see the bean arbor itself has filled completely out, looking great. We'll walk around this side and take a look on the inside of the arbor. And you can see I'm starting to get a few green beans here and there. So we may be picking a lot of these here soon. And then the nasturtiums down here at the bottom of the bean arbor are looking great as well. And we'll move on to the strawberries here. This is the strawberry bed, and I've recently started getting a lot more strawberries off these plants. As we're getting later into the summer here, you can see there's one over there on that side, one that's turned red, and then over here there are a few small ones that have not been eaten. It looks like something might have taken a small bite out of the top of that one over there, but you can see I'm starting to get some strawberries going here, so we may be gearing up for a nice fall harvest of strawberries, I hope. So looking really good at the moment. There's some more strawberries there as well. And then let's move on over this way. We'll check out the sugar cube melons. And as you can see, they are doing very well. They're outgrowing the beds. I didn't trellis them this year, so I'm just kind of letting them flow where they want to go. And you can see right down here at the end, I have a group of melons growing together. There's 3 of them right there, close beside each other. And there's more scattered throughout the bed. There's another one right there. And there's more over there on the other side. So doing really good. Can't wait to pick some of these. And it looks like we do have some other ones forming right here on these vines that are outside the bed. And then over here you can see the pumpkins are moving right along. You see quite a few big flowers on the pumpkins there coming out. And I believe I have one nice pumpkin forming over here on this side. Looks like that one's pollinated. It keeps getting bigger. So hopefully we get more than just that one. They're almost getting out of control here. These vines are getting pretty big now. But you can see the vines are going all the way around there to where the compost bin is. So looking really good. And then this is the Romeo cherry tree, still doing great. There is a lot of new growth on it, but didn't get any cherries off of it this year. Obviously this is the first year that we planted it, but it's supposed to get up to about 8 feet when it's mature, so it's a dwarf cherry tree. And then the tomatoes here, you can see the Cherokee purples are still producing. Not quite as much as they were, but you know, once they get later into the season they don't produce as well. But we have quite a few tomatoes there growing there at the top of the trellis. Some right there. There's a few red ones right there, or ripe ones right there. They will eventually turn a darker purple though. The Brandywine seems to be doing better than the Cherokee purple. They look a lot more healthier, a lot more greener. And if you look at the top of the trellis here, the tomato plants are all the way above the trellis, almost by about 2 feet. So this trellis is about 6.5 feet, and I've already trimmed this thing off at least once already. So these plants probably would have been over 10-11 feet tall by now if I had a big enough trellis. But making one that big would just be more of a hassle. But you can see still a lot of Brandywine tomatoes on here to pick. So I may be picking some of these for all the way through September, maybe even into October. So looking great. And down here, the California Wonder Peppers, they are doing very, very well. I have quite a few green peppers on this plant here, at least 4 of them that are about ready to pick. No, 5. There's another one back there in the back. So about 5 decent sized peppers there on that plant. The California Wonders usually get about 3 or 4 inch peppers on them, so looking great. And then this is another California Wonder here, and a few peppers growing on that one as well. And the lightning banana peppers still moving right along. There's some more peppers growing on there. And then more Brandywine tomatoes here on the back side. You can see they look very nice. Some of these are very large. There's one over here that I can show you is really getting big. I do have one that I picked yesterday or the day before, and it was 1 pound, almost 6 ounces. 1 pound, 6 ounces, just about. So, no shortage of large tomatoes on these Brandywine plants. And then the peppers I have here on the back side, the banana peppers, looking great. All the pepper plants are doing very, very well. There's another California Wonder down there. Another lightning pepper here. So looking really good. And then I haven't done an update on the patio recently, so let's go ahead and walk on down to the patio. Alright, so it's been a while since I've done an update on the patio plants. So starting off here, the peach sorbet blueberry bush, there's a lot of new growth on the back side since we've moved it over here, and a lot of this new growth is just as tall as the old growth, and that is great because that means we'll probably have twice as many blueberries next year as we did this year. So really looking good there. Lots of new growth, looking very, very healthy. And then moving on here, we'll go to the strawberry shortcake raspberry bush. As you can see, the back side, a lot of new growth on it. Some of the older growth up front is looking a little worse for wear, but still some growth, new growth coming out here as well. But not sure what caused this old growth to die like that, but it might have just been because of the heat there that we had in July when it was up to like 98 degrees. But still, lots and lots of new growth still coming out on this plant, so it might get twice as many raspberries as we did last year. And moving around here to the Atlas tomato, so far this has been a bit of a disappointment, and mostly because the tomatoes that have pulled off here have been very mealy. Although very large, they were all about 1 pound or so, and I've gotten about 6 of them off of here so far, and it was really slow growing. But the ones that I picked looked really, really good, but then when you cut them open, they were very mealy, so I just tossed them out. So they weren't very good at all. I think part of the reason for these as well was, being so mealy was probably because I didn't put it in a big enough container. I think if I had a big enough container, it wouldn't have dried out so much during that big hot spell that we had. So I think that may have been what caused it. But so far, a bit of a disappointment. Maybe I'll grow it next year and it'll do better if I put it in a bigger container, but I don't know. Haven't decided yet. But moving on, the pineapple sage here looking great. Herb garden looking great. The black pearl tomatoes here are looking great as well. You can see there's lots of black pearl tomatoes on there. I have picked several bowls of these off of these plants already, and as you can see, they've gotten big enough to where the stakes are leaning over. So it's a leaning tower of tomatoes is what it looks like. It has been some leaf miner damage down here, but otherwise it's still producing lots and lots of tomatoes. Some new growth coming out the bottom there, and lots of new growth at the top, so I might have to trim some of this up, but you can see some really nice looking black pearl tomatoes on there, looking great. These were very tasty. They say in the description, it says they taste kind of like Concord grapes if you store them in the refrigerator, but they're very, very sweet. One of the sweetest tomatoes, cherry tomatoes that I've grown. And that's all I have for everybody today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone. Alright, let's go ahead and pick a few of these corn cobs to see how well they look. There we go. Very nice looking ear of corn there. I have several more I'm going to pick, but those look really good. I'm probably going to throw these in the pot today and eat them. So looking great. Go ahead and pick some more of these. Here you go, everyone. I just finished picking at least 8 ears of the candy corn, and as you can see, they look very, very nice. Some nice thick ears of corn there. So I can't wait to sink my teeth into some of these, and I'll probably cook them up today.